All right, we are live. Today we're going to be covering some news. We're going to be covering the Diddy story. There's some I've got an interesting perspective on all this. I like to take a 40,000 foot perspective, and there's a lot of interesting actors coming forward, a lot of people telling their stories, a lot of people I think a lot of feds coming in, a lot of plants, a lot of people muddying the waters. And we're going to talk about some of that. We're going to try to talk about as much as we can here before I need to wind this up and go to bed. But let's first start off with this clip. I'd like to remind you about this clip. Let's wind it all the way back to I don't know when this was, 6 years ago. This was posted here. But let's just watch this little video here, just to remind ourselves about how a lot of the suspicion started. You know, this is way before all this stuff broke into the news. Everybody was called a conspiracy theorist and everything. Let's just watch this video.
Yeah, I love this drink.
Where you
Chance
put my
with you. I
bag
like
at?
when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag
Daddy,
at?
I like when
Actually.
you
It's right here,
scrambling
it's
and
right
scraping
here.
for shit.
No. I got notes
like
and
that.
shit. You know, I'll be
What does that mean? I like when you scramble and scrape it. She calls this guy daddy. Look how uncomfortable all these guys are. Diddy is so like drunk and his obvious tendencies are coming out. What can I say?
practicing. I got
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
Yeah.
did just call
Mr.
that man
Lee,
daddy.
Yeah, I love this drink.
Where you
Chance
put my
with you. I
bag
like
at?
when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag
Daddy,
at,
I like
Mr.
when
Lee?
you
Look
when
at
you
how
scrambling and
uncomfortable these
scraping.
guys are. Look at how these guys are looking at him. This guy's like shifting around. This guy's just straight up dead-eyed, like a dead fish, just staring at him like he can't even believe what he's hearing right now. All right, we're not gonna watch a lot of that, but wanted to bring that up just to add some context, just to bring us back a little bit. You know, we've there's been sort of a shitstorm. There's been a chaos factor here. A lot of information coming out. Everybody's making videos. You know, thousands of videos coming out every day, talking about Diddy, talking about the alleged horrible things that he's been getting up to. And at this point, it's reaching a breaking point. Right now, we have to add some logic to this. We have to think about this in an intelligent way and try not to get wrapped up in the dialectics, the thesis, antithesis, synthesis. Let's try to step back and think about what really is going on here. This is more than Diddy. This is more, obviously, I mean, you probably already know this, but this is a lot bigger than this rapper who was essaying young women and having some rainbow tendencies with other men and young boys. This is scratching the surface of a deep, dark program, sort of machine that an octopus that has its tentacles wrapped around the whole world. And this is sort of just a tiny little drop in the bucket. Um, And how does this fit into the whole program? Obviously, Diddy is a fall guy. Obviously, he's the sacrificial lamb being sacrificed to the corn in order to essentially appease the public, a steam release valve so that people have something to talk about before the next big event hits that they can then spin us into a frenzy about, right? So nothing ever gets accomplished. Nobody ever really is brought to justice. Maybe a couple of actors, maybe a handful, maybe a couple dozen, right? Or even 100 or whatever. But essentially, at the end of the day, the larger complex, the larger system, the worldwide syndicate of control and power is left intact. And I'd like to say it's a lot deeper. It's a lot bigger than just SA. It's a lot bigger than um, just blackmail. Blackmail is just a small part, tool, if you will, in the toolkit of these global international elites, right? And so this is uh, nothing. Let's sort of bring this all around. We'll talk about how this relates to Epstein, Israel, this complex network of intelligence agencies that are essentially controlling the world and what their plan is for humanity. How does this fit into the larger time scale? All right, so let's just watch this quick video here. We have a Diddy grand jury subpoenas. New witness claims to have tapes. Kim Porter diary. So this is an interview with
Have the feds been in contact?
Courtney Burgess and his attorney, who just they've been appearing on the Sean Atwood show quite a bit lately. Well, at least Courtney Burgess has got into a quite a scuffle with Jaguar Wright and other people. A lot of people are suspicious of this guy. And his attorney actually came on. His lawyer came on to the Sean Atwood show just the other day to talk for very long to some of the victims um, and then Courtney Burgess came on. Um, Chris Todd is involved. There's this whole controversy that him and Chris Todd published Kim Porter's book. Is it real? Is it not? And when did they get the book? And why didn't they publish it? Back in 2009. And then they took pages out. They took the epilogue and the prologue out. They edited it and then released it. And they're trying to get money off of it. And you'd think that if they were really just trying to help the world and bring people to justice, they would just release it for free and try to spread it as much as possible, right? But instead, they're trying to get this paycheck, trying to get that money, which on some level, I understand if that's, for Chris Todd, if that's his life, that's his job to investigate people, and that's how he makes his money. Um, but at the end of the day, it seems like they're putting greed in front of the betterment of humanity, society, and bringing justice to these criminals, right? So let's watch a little bit of this, and then we'll get into how this relates to the deeper issue.
With you. I did watch your YouTube interview. I saw as of 2 weeks ago they haven't been in contact with you. What about today?
Yes.
So they have been in contact with you. Is that why you're here today?
Yes.
Okay.
Homeland Security.
Oh, wow. So were you surprised, or was that the call that you were kind of waiting for?
Surprise.
Oh. Do you feel like the interview had anything to do with it, or?
Yes.
Yeah. How do you know Sean Combs?
Generation. Frank Lucas was my godfather and his father, and then we both was in the music business for 30 years together.
I never knew that. So Frank Lucas was Diddy's father, and this guy's godfather, and they've been in the business for 30 years. That's common information or whatever. But yeah, I didn't know that they were that close, literally related, right? Through religion, I guess.
So you personally know him, have
Not who, no who personally.
Sean Combs?
Not
Diddy.
personally.
But you know of him, he knows
I
of
know
you.
Yeah, I used to be in church.
Oh, so you're his dad's godson, but you don't know him personally. Okay.
Tupac, Hussein Fatal. He stopped a lot of my music. A lot of other people who didn't care about him. You understand? That's not around today.
Right. So
Len Stewart from Def Jam Records.
you made a lot of allegations, right? Are you expected to eventually turn those things over, or
Well, that's what we're going to head over to do now. So we have a hearing now to determine what we're going to do in terms of what documents we'll have to turn over and what documents we do not.
So why were you in court today?
Just to give testimony to the grand jury. He was subpoenaed by the court. So as we all know, if you don't answer a subpoena, the marshals will come to your house as they came to his house, and they will bring you here. So that's why we're here today.
I know you can't mention celebrities per se. You did mention some in the interview. So just to clarify, you can back that up with actual factual footage.
We have, it's things that we have, but we got to go to the other courthouse. So I don't know if that's any more questions, but we got another hearing to go.
Are you nervous, or do you feel cool?
God, I ain't never nervous. The only thing that's fair to me is God.
I know you did mention what was on the flash drive before. Would you be able to kind of go over that now, or is that something that you can't discuss?
No, we're trying to go to discuss that now, what we will be able to talk to in terms of what was available and what was on those flash drives.
Okay.
But it was the book, so.
So it is Kim Porter's book, but not necessarily.
So just as they said, we can't discuss what's on the flash drives, but it is the book. You know what I mean? These people are like all over the place, I mean, this is like a high-level lawyer, high-level celebrity lawyer, you know what I mean? And it just seems so sloppy. I mean, they're giving interviews all over the place. And you would think if they wanted to have a solid case and bring these people to justice, they wouldn't be giving all these interviews. I mean, maybe um, on the other hand, right? Let's think about it from a different perspective. Maybe giving all these interviews is giving this publicity and actually sort of protecting them in a way because a lot more people have eyes on them, right? And so if they suddenly end up with a case of pneumonia, right, from maybe some cyanide or a sudden heart attack from some other type of chemical or whatever, people will have eyes on them and be able to understand the situation. So I could see it from that perspective as well.
Some of the stuff with the celebs that were mentioned besides.
It's hers. Nobody touched it.
Oh, so it is her official book,
Yes. Nobody.
and no one touched it.
Nobody altered it. Nothing.
So it's
Okay, so Chris Todd and this guy, published Kim Porter's book, and they literally did alter it. They took out the epilogue and the prologue, and then edited some of it and took out some pages, right? So they have said that, right, on many interviews. They did alter it. So I guess maybe what he's saying is that the book on the hard drive isn't altered. So that's what they're going to be turning over to the grand jury. But there was also some. He was saying that he had some thumb drives with some videos with some possible child. You know what I'm saying? And some minors being involved with adults in some inappropriate ways, and he's, I don't even know, I can't get the story straight. He threw them in the fire, but then he gave them over to some. I don't know what is really happening. I mean, there's so many stories going on and so many conflicting stories, so it's really hard to understand what the truth is in this situation. I think we're probably just gonna have to see this play out. But it would be nice if somebody had time. I mean, I have a job, I don't have time, but if somebody had time to parse through all the interviews and really write down every single little point and what people said, and to essentially compare all of the notes to see what is really going on. So what I remember that he said is he had the hard drives, but he didn't look at them for a long time, and then one day he looked at them and saw some CP, and then threw them in the fire, is what he said. So I don't know if that's metaphorical, throwing it in the fire, or what does that mean? Does that does that mean he gave it to somebody, or does that mean he literally threw it in a fireplace? I don't know with these people. It's so cryptic, and I have to say, I've been sort of wading in to this uh, black YouTube, and I'm a honky, I'm a white guy, I'm a cracker, and it is really, it's just a whole different world, right? There's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of cryptic messaging, okay? There's a lot of lingo that I'm not privy to, used to, So I feel like some sort of CIA analyst or something, I feel like some sort of cryptologist, trying to parse out what people really mean, by the things that they say. I mean, we just don't talk like this over here in the boonies. You know what I mean? We just don't talk in codes, stuff like that. We just say whatever we mean, just straight up. So this is but they live in a whole different world. It's a different culture and everything, and I understand that. And it is. I have to admit, it's vastly entertaining. I have to admit, it's very, I love. I can't even give you an example, but just when Jaguar Wright and and Courtney Burgess are, having a spat, and they're like saying all these things, that aren't direct threats or aren't direct insults or whatever. They're alluding to things, and the rest of the audience is just like sitting there wide-eyed, like a doe in the headlights, just wondering what's happening. What are they saying, But obviously they're speaking a language to each other that they understand, like the street lingo. I don't know, but I guess it's important to have empathy for people and to try to understand, that everybody's going through something. So I'm just trying to get a hold on this. No judgment for anybody. This is wildly fascinating to me. Fascinating culture, um, and I've dove headfirst straight into this uh, maniacal world. So I'll just keep playing the video.
Not the copy that the gentleman said that he was selling before, no.
No.
It's two different copies. That one was edited, and we have the original
right.
copy.
So you're
Okay.
saying that the
Okay.
other copy was an actual real copy, even though the family said it wasn't.
Was a derivative
It
work.
was edited. The only way the family say that is because I forgot his name. Albie Short.
Yeah.
Okay, so they just clarified that there was an edited version. That's the one he and Chris Todd released. And then there's the real version, which is the one they're going to turn over to the grand jury.
Yeah. And besides that, how they know? A lot of stuff their mother did, they didn't know. And I'd like to say apologize to the mother and the family for the picture being on front of it.
Right.
You understand? I didn't put it there.
Right.
So, they got to worry about bigger things
Right.
than what her diary was. You understand?
Right.
They should have started worrying when he was beating her.
Right.
When you start worrying about your mother after the fact.
Right. So the book, do you think it'll ever be open to the public or after this or?
That'll be the next thing. I've been contracted to go to Amazon and work out whatever legalities that may have existed prior so that we can republish the book.
Wow, so the public will get to see her actual words
Yes.
and thoughts.
So very soon, the actual unedited version.
Yeah, okay, so they're saying they're going to release the unedited version. While on the other hand, Chris Todd is on the Sean Atwood show saying that he's going to sue people if they release the book. He wants to get his money, and then once he gets his money, then they can do whatever they want, right? So that's a very interesting development. I'm not going to pull up Chris Todd. As far as I can tell, he's done some good work on OJ, on who's the grunge guy? Oh man, the Nirvana guy, the guy from Nirvana. I can't remember his name, but he did some decent work, it seems, on those cases. But I listened to some of it. Kurt Cobain, on the Kurt Cobain case, some of it just seems. The things he says are just wild sometimes. He's saying that he doesn't want to go after Courtney Love, all this stuff, and it's like, dude, obviously from everything you've told us, Courtney Love is the mastermind behind this. She's the one. It's so obvious when you really look at what he's saying, and he's like not even putting two and two together that Kurt Cobain wanted to divorce her, and she saw this as her last chance to take his money and to live the life of luxury for the rest of her life, and so she hired these goons to take him out, and and they were all heroin junkies, so I'm sure they weren't thinking properly about their moral choices. But he just seems to, on one hand, he's so intelligent and able to put together all of these different narratives and dig up all this evidence and reach into people's, find sources and stuff. And then on the other hand, he just can't even put together, he can't put together a simplified elevator pitch for what really happened, which is what he should be doing. You need to clarify things. You shouldn't make things more complicated for people so that they can't understand what's actually going on, right? Just say what it is. Just give an elevator speech. What happened? Okay. So let's. So apparently we got. So let's move on to Gene Deal. Talking about Diddy's mother participating in the freak-offs. This is pretty crazy, man. And of course, we're going to tie this into the whole greater global agenda. This is just a tiny little. It's a dope opera, as the late great Mandar would say. Oh my gosh, David Stay. As the late great David Stay would say, this is all a dope opera, man. It's all just, You know, throwing a sacrifice to the wolves, to essentially keep us entertained, and feel like something's happening until they can kick off the fake alien invasion or World War III. Let's see what happens first. Okay, we're gonna get to that.
You heard about how Diddy mom is being accused of helping Diddy steal money? It's a guy named D1 that's suing her.
I think that they accusing Diddy mom of stealing anything is wrong. All she did was allow him to put certain things in her name to protect. If at any time, because of some of the things that he was doing and the nature of what he was doing and he knew he was doing to people.
First of all, why does this guy have an Apple? Why does he have a AirPod in his ear, dude? Is he listening to beats while he's giving this interview? Is he getting down with the, I don't know, man. It just seems so ridiculous. Take your freaking earbuds out, dude.
If he ever sued, he probably be
He's
safe.
got this little Buddhist hand or whatever this is, and this little demon pendant, not to, I respect all religions, okay, don't come after me, I'm just saying, dude, I don't like this little hand here, okay, I've seen it before. It gives me the heebie-jeebies, okay. I know some people probably think it's all, it's all about healing and love and bringing out the geometry of the universe together or whatever, okay, but it just gives me the creeps. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just giving my honest opinion, okay. It just gives me the creeps. Why would somebody wear that around their neck? Why would somebody have that in their house? I don't know.
Having money and things in her name. Do you understand that? See, I don't believe Miss Combs gave that stuff up a long time ago when she used to do her little modeling thing with her little ladies of the night, the little wild parties.
All right, I'm sorry for derailing this whole thing. I know it's not the point of this whole thing, but this necklace is just wigging me out. First of all, it's encircled with diamonds, bro. Okay, and it's gold, and it's supposed to be like some sort of religious symbol. So what is this really signifying? You know what I mean? Like, is it signifying some sort of, piety or like connection to the divine or whatever? I mean, what is your connection to the divine? Is it gold? Is it diamonds? You know what I mean? It's just like, I guess it's just all a day in the life, of a whatever.
When she gave that up,
He's a thug.
I don't think she was in the business.
He's a gangster.
I don't think she was in the business to.
Let me just say another thing. This guy smoked like 16 blunts before he gave this interview, man. I mean, he's practically like sweating THC. I mean, hey, man, I've imbibed of the past. Shit, man. I have been known to enjoy the icky sticky green monster, but man, this is obvious. So I know it when I see it.
Know exactly where the money's going, how's coming in, who she taking it from. He was just doing it and putting it and had the authority to put it in her name.
Man, this guy's like half asleep. This guy's like half asleep over here. All right, I'm gonna skip this forward till it gets to the juicy stuff. I don't know. Let's see.
But do I believe she knew these to different places, which I think she just was enjoying the fruits of the. One of the witnesses said she was there.
All right, here we go.
And do you remember this, bro? Check it out. People tell off on themselves so much, man, and I don't understand when people don't catch it.
Man, why are your eyes so glassy?
Diddy has said this. He said, when I give a party, I have to have an ambulance outside of the house. Paramedics ready. That people have to take IVs. Remember the time that him and his mama kissed each other on the lips?
I remember.
I remember that video.
Do you remember that both of them was getting an IV at the same time?
Yeah, I did
Yuck.
notice that. Yep.
That's from the Diddy freak off party.
all you need to know. All you need to know, bro. All right. So I'm not trying to rag on this guy too much for smoking blunts or whatever. I mean, hey, well, he's got his 32 shirt on, whatever, dude. He's got his orange, and I don't care. I'm looking past all that. His little creepy necklace, okay? He he knows Diddy. He was his bodyguard, and he's just straight up telling you, bro. Diddy was getting down with his mama at those parties, allegedly, right? And another lady came out on the Sean Atwood show. I think she talked to like Lionel B as well. I think Aaliyah English or something like that, and she straight up said that. She was like, "Yeah, she likes it rough. She likes to have threesomes with Diddy," and that's. I mean, I wanted to puke when I heard that. I was at work, and I was listening to it, and I almost lost my shit. I had to like walk outside. I think, catch my breath. That was horrible to hear. Okay, Diddy's banging his mom. What? She likes it rough. What? What are you telling me, man? Are you saying that? Like that's what people are saying. Multiple people have said that now. That's crazy. Multiple people that have known Diddy, been at his parties. Oh, that's crazy. All right, we're gonna move on. Reggie Wright. Diddy is done. Secret jail cell phone found. Paying off people to speak positive. Let's check this out, bro. So, of course, if you don't know, in the prison system, if you have the dough, you can buy the phone. And a lot of, gang leaders, people in the gangs, they'll buy the phone so that they can organize things on the streets. They can get stuff into the prison. They can run a nice little business inside the prison. A lot of guys, they'll get the phone. They'll have their guys on the outside, like fly a drone full of, meth or crack or whatever. They're trying to sell within the prison. A lot of it's probably tobacco, because they outlawed tobacco in the prisons or something. So that just jacked up the price, right? I think you could sell a pack of tobacco for like $300 in prison, right? A little pack of tobacco, and yeah, man, a pack of cigarettes for like 120. It's probably more now because of inflation. I mean, that's a lot of money, man. It's a big racket. But in Diddy's case, he's trying to basically tie up loose ends, trying to bleach the sheets, if you will, from inside the prison, and we're gonna see that right now.
Okay, Reggie, before we get started on today's segment, is there anything that you want to speak on or talk about before we get going?
Just right quick. Yeah, I know I got to touch on it. Shout out to acting, but gonna see a good fight. So he looked good for the first.
We're gonna try and skip through this
knocked him
BS.
out.
Oh my gosh, we don't care about the Mike Tyson fight.
Don't forget to go and support.
Oh, now they're pushing merch.
Definitely for the big boys, we got them available. Okay, John. John, let's go, John.
In Jackpot World, super fun. And it also
Are you serious? They're pushing like freaking gambling
games?
Like, just tell us what the
doing
freaking
social
juice
media
is.
clips and things like that. Have you heard about this story? And if so, do you have any comments about it?
I heard that story. Of course, that's a big story, big scene. They started it off with and me and you had that conversation when he first did it. When
I'm sorry, I should have
the birthday cake, right? And him singing happy the 55th birthday and had the little girl singing and all of that. And I was like, yeah, that stuff is cool, but why put it on each one of the kids' social media?
All right, sing happy birthday to Daddy.
To Daddy, happy birthday to Daddy. Happy birthday. Keep going. Happy
Birthday to.
I said, I didn't get that. I said, they got to understand that right now he's enemy number one in America. So I was like, damn, why they do that? Okay.
Yeah.
Then,
because they're in the system, man. Because they're part, they were born into this, and they're cracked, they're brainwashed, man. They put through the MK Ultra freaking Monarch program, man. Okay, I'm getting too far. I'm getting too deep. It's too much. That's the meat you can't chew right now. Okay. Let me back up. All right. So it's like a cult. Okay, you're born into this dynasty, right? And there's a lot at stake. There's a lot at stake. People's lives are at stake, man. People are dying on the streets. People are dying. People don't have shoes, man. You know, either I got shoes or you got shoes. You know what I mean? So these people, right? The Diddy dynasty, right? Now he's elevated himself up the food chain, elevated himself up the pyramid, the hierarchy, right? Now he's got people under him, and and all his kids are now in this, right? They're born into this cult, and they have to play along, man. Otherwise, there will be retribution because there's more people involved. It's not just Diddy, it's not just his family, they're part of a much bigger system. This isn't just about Diddy, okay? They are a tool. They are an asset. They are an asset. His family's owned, man. And I would go so far to say, and we're going to hear from Allie Carter, a Diddy survivor, how deep it goes, man. I mean, it's pretty crazy. We're not going to touch on all of it tonight, but she talks about, and I believe her. When you listen to some of these people, you can tell a lot of the times who the liars are and who's telling the truth. And this person, Allie Carter, this girl, she's turning 31. She went through it, man. She was human transported, right? She was abused. She saw all the rituals. She was mind split, mind broken, mind fractured, by this split personalities being created through trauma-based mind control. This is what it is, okay? Look that up, trauma-based mind control. All right, don't use Google. And what this does, right, is it puts people into this state of compliance. Right? It's human behavioral modification technology. That's what it is. And it was developed, it's been developing, right, since the beginning of time. That's what witchcraft is all about, okay? You're casting your little spells and you're praying to your little freaking demons and stuff, okay? You gotta stop that, man, alright? Because all it is human behavioral modification technology. And who do you think came up with it, man? I don't think you're ready for this. I don't think you're ready for it. But when it really comes down to it, it's a lot bigger than even human beings, right? And I'm not talking aliens, okay? I don't even believe in that shit. Okay, it's literally the Prince of Hell and his minions, giving the wisdom of the serpents, right? Giving this evil to humanity, right? I mean, people aren't ready for that, man. Who would believe you? Who would believe you that CEOs and top corporate executives and record label moguls and these high-level celebrities, who would believe you if you told them they're literally summoning demons and they appear before them and they give them orders and they take orders from Satan? Who would believe you? Who would believe you? It's unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. Who would believe you? You'd almost have to see it to believe it. So, but I'm telling you, that's what I believe. That's what I believe. It goes a lot deeper than people developing mind control techniques. That's maybe 80% of it. People do the legwork. Humans do the legwork. You've got these little peon scientists that they pull out of the Ivy League schools, and they get them working in the system, and they're working on this technology. They get them working like little lab rats, cranking out this detritus, this funk, this pestilence spewing forth from the human dark soul. And it's really diabolical. It's so diabolical that it literally has to be demonic. You know what I mean? So, let's keep
So
going.
we learning that they got audio of him orchestrating that with the kids. Hey, y'all. I don't know why people don't listen to Reggie motherfucking Wright, but y'all don't. So it's all good.
So what he's telling you, right, is Diddy orchestrated the kids doing that, right, to make him look good, to better his image, right, to make it look like he's got a caring, loving family and he's a caring, loving father. That's how deep it goes, man. They didn't just do this, right? His kids weren't like, oh, let's sing Happy Birthday to Daddy while he's locked up in prison, right? No, dude, it was Diddy, right, probably being told by his handlers, like, you better freaking shop up your image or whatever. You know, to try to make his public image look good so that his trial goes better, right? Because he's being thrown under the bus, you know, or maybe he isn't. Who knows what's going on? Is he being sacrificed to the wolves, or is he getting a deal? Is he getting I don't know, maybe the same deal. Did Epstein really get lynched in prison? Did he really get taken out, or is he in some fucking island in the Bahamas getting plastic surgery and Botox and getting happy endings by some Filipino, T-boy? I don't know. I don't know. He could be dead. He could be burning in hell. Or, maybe this is all a greater scheme, a bigger deal, that these people take. I mean, would it really be a big deal? I mean, you get out of the spotlight. You've lived the fame, you've lived the life, you soaked up all the glory and you've done all the drugs and had all the women and all the boys apparently. And now it's time to get out. I mean, they've lived that life. What more do they want from the spotlight, right? They were at the top, and you're at the top. And what more do you want? At that point, all there is left is sewer slide, or getting out of the public eye and living the life of luxury, basically taking part in your worst behaviors. Because now you can. Now you're out of the spotlight. And now you've got plastic surgery and you got a different name. Your name is Sancho Cortez, and you live in the Bahamas. I don't know. I don't know. It's just speculation. I'm just saying. I know it's a wild theory. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just putting out some alternative viewpoints here. We have to think critically, and we have to be able to look at this from different angles if we're going to ever even get close to parsing out the truth.
Don't y'all remember one of the first videos that I did once he got arrested?
Don't shut off my computer.
That I said this. What I would warn him right now, first thing I would warn him is because I know right now he got money.
My cat's trying
so
to shut off my
everybody
computer.
in there knows he has a little
She's
bit of money.
Conspiring with the.
And so
with
you're
the
gonna be getting
global
niggas trying to
syndicate.
come at you. Hey, homie, they call it a soft push, where you hang with me. Only thing you need to do is put about $500 to $1,000 on my books, on about 4 or 5 of our books, and we got you. So that's what dudes right. So family, when you put money on people's books and stuff like that you don't know, and they will send a snitch and a rat to get up under you to try to get you to buy some drugs and to get you set up to mess up your conditions in there. And so I hope Diddy is street smart enough, got somebody.
What are you talking about? You hope Diddy's street smart enough. Fuck this guy. You know what I mean? Fuck Diddy. Like, dude, I don't even care if he's a fall guy. Fuck him. I hope they fucking ring him out in court. I hope the prosecutors are good. I hope they bring in the witnesses, the real survivors, and they nail them to the fucking wall and get all the names, get all the contact numbers, get all the addresses. Of course, they're not going to, because the whole government, well, not the whole government, but enough of the government in high-level key positions are corrupt and facilitating the human transportation of children, right? And this essay, satanic, and people have this idea about Satanism. I mean, most people probably don't have this concept in their mind, but the Office of Naval Intelligence, you got Michael Aquino back in the day developing psychological warfare techniques based off of trauma-based mind control, using Satanism, right? Satanistic ritual abuse, right? And what is it? SRA, right? He's using SRA in order to control his enemies, right? Control the enemies. They did it to that guy in Argentina, I think. I can't remember his name. They've done it to a lot of people. They use this as a control mechanism because it's so horrendous, it's so painful, it's so traumatizing, it's so bad, that you can essentially use it to wield people's will. Anyway.
That's in his ear that when he was over there walking in Harlem taking pictures where he knew he was about to go to prison, where he was walking around with one of those dudes and they were giving him game. Like, this is who's in there right now. This is who gonna look out for you. In the neighborhood that weekend before you got arrested, finding out who's in jail from your neighborhood. Because it's obvious, y'all. They set his ass up. Told y'all they were gonna do that. They set Diddy up, got that phone to him, and they done heard everything that he's been saying on that particular cell phone. They did that roots that made it seem like that's why they did that big old raid, because when they
Yeah, why did the how did the phone call get leaked? That's my question, right? Was it actors within the government? Do we have good actors within the government, leaking that stuff, or is it all just a big psychological mind warfare, data analytics, running through the freaking AI, just processing, chipping out this strategy, right? So that people are going this way and then the other way and that way and the other way, and it's all relating to these topics that are highly controversial and nobody's going to agree about. But we'll see what we'll see.
They went and got that raid, they found that phone, and they've been probably listening the whole time. He ain't been talking like on no regular phone, y'all. Niggas in jail know better than that. It's not like y'all think that he was on the regular. This was a recorded phone, and it made from this. Wish Diddy would add a little bit.
I've got enough of this guy. I've had enough of this guy, dude. Look at this guy, bro. I mean, no hate, no shade on this man's name, okay? But I've had enough. I'm sure he's a great, fun guy to be around, to have barbecues with. Okay, but why are you buttoning up your shirt all the way here, bro? Leave a couple buttons open, bro. It just makes you look kind of creepy. You know what I mean? Especially with this color scheme and everything. He's got this like kind of little boy grandpa flavor here. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just strange. I mean, maybe I'm being insulting. Maybe I'm throwing shade at black culture. I'm sorry. I'm a whip cracking honky. Okay, I apologize. I'm a redneck. Okay, I'm ignorant. I've got some cultural biases. I've got some explaining to do. All right, but I accept that. I'm not a perfect person. Okay, and I love all human beings, all races. Okay, all right, okay. So I'm just saying. All right. Let's see. Why is this not playing the audio?
Weekly reveals actor Denzel Washington had a heated confrontation with rapper Sean Diddy Combs at an all-night party back in 2003.
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong. Wait a minute, I'm not done now. The devil goes, oh no, leave him alone. Hey, he's my favorite. Don't you bother him.
Yeah. Do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. What?
I'm gonna need you to get. Okay, so this is Diddy on his on his jail phone that he probably got from a CO, from a guard, right? A correctional officer. He probably got this smuggled in by a CO into the prison, and he's calling one of his people, and he's telling him, get rid of the extra pizza boxes. What? wait, back up. Rewind. Reverse. You wanna, okay, so, you're not calling the guy on the outside, like, saying, something normal, right? You're not using normal human language. You're saying get rid of the extra pizza boxes. Like, why would this guy be worried about pizza boxes, right? He's obviously not talking about literal pizza boxes. You're talking about something else. Talking about some, like, Elephantis type, Comet ping pong type stuff. You know what I mean? Everybody called us schizos. You know what I mean? But hey, man, vindicated. You know what I'm saying? Vindicated. Hey, I'm gonna stand back here. I know this seems kind of crazy, but there are codes that creeps use in order to speak out in the public, okay, he's not gonna say, "Hey, buddy, can you get rid of those dead bodies for me?" You know what I mean? He's not gonna say that. He's gonna say, "Get rid of those empty pizza boxes." You know, so yeah, obviously, and we know that pizza is a code word for children. Pizza, yeah, which happens to be Courtney Burgess's nickname from back in the day. I don't know. Okay, and we know this. Don't ask me. Ask the FBI. The FBI published a report telling us, okay, that pizza is a code word for children that PDF files use. Okay? So Diddy has this phone in jail, and he's telling his boy on the outside, "Get rid of my empty pizza boxes." Okay, let's put two and two together. What could he be talking about? Duh. All right, I'm sorry. I'm being a little bit heated here. Okay, I'm being a little bit confrontational. Okay, I've got some hubris. I apologize. I can be a little bit proud. I can be a little bit scathing at times. Okay, but please just bear with me. I'm just human. This stuff, this stuff has me riled up, and it has had me riled up for a very long time, man. People have been talking about this stuff. Intelligent, reasonable people. Doing hard work, hard investigations into these weird, creepy circles, that happen to control the world somehow. All right. And we're going to figure out how. We're going to figure out. I'm going to explain it to you, okay? We're going to wrap this all up. We're going to bring this all around, and we're going to talk about how this all pertains to the global power elite and the international syndicate, the international mafia that controls the world, all governments, okay? Everybody. You're just a number to them, okay? You're just a slave. You're a cow, cattle, chattel. And they can call you whenever they want. They can move you around. They can displace populations. They can exploit natural disasters and steal your children. Okay, anyway, we're going to listen to this again. What did he say?
Ain't none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes.
Okay.
The what? All the boxes.
The what?
Left over from the pizza. All the boxes. Okay. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about.
What? Yo! Like, I don't mean to laugh at this, okay? This is just how I deal with traumatic things. All right, I laugh because it's just so ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's so ridiculous, and we've been talking about it. I say we. Who's we? The royal we. Me, other people, have seen this stuff, and we've done some deep digging. Okay, we've done some deep diving down the rabbit hole, and this is quite obvious to us. It's so obvious, and just to hear this guy blatantly talking about getting rid of the empty pizza boxes, and make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about. Okay, last time I checked, pizza boxes are made out of cardboard. Most of the places all over the world. Do you know of any pizza place that gives you a pizza in plastic? He's talking about recycle the plastic like we talked about. Okay, obviously you're talking about bodies, okay, people, come on. He's talking about people, human beings, man. Get rid of the pizza boxes and recycle the plastic. Bro, I'm just going to break it down for you. He's talking about getting rid of these children and dissolving your bodies in acid. Okay? Okay, you listen to enough Hitman, you listen to enough Mafia guys, that's what they do, okay? They either remove the person's insides and throw them in the water, and then they sink. It's because otherwise, if you leave the insides in, they're gonna bloat up and float to the top, right? Or they'll put them in between some fencing and tie some weights to it, sink them to the bottom, then they won't come back up. or they bury them. But he's talking about recycling the plastic, right? So I mean, what does that even mean? Does that mean an acid bath? Does that mean cannibalism? Does that mean organs? I don't know. To me, it seems like cremation. Recycle the plastic. Okay.
Yeah, did Jay reach out yet?
Did Jay reach out? Is he talking about Jay-Z? Right? Because we know these people run in the same circles. They're all up at the top together, throwing up their little Illuminati symbols, the Shluminati, right? And we know how this works, right?
Nah, but he ghosting. He just want to do him.
So Jay's ghosting, right? So what does that mean? That means Jay threw Diddy under the bus, right? Or not Jay, right? But he's not coming to help him. Jay-Z's not coming to help him. Just like he didn't come and help D. Haven, the Silent King, right? His best friend from middle school when he got clapped by the popo. Jay-Z dipped. He ghosted him. Right? Because he's not going to come and help him. He's not going to come help a brother out and get his feathers all muddy. Right? He's working for the system. He's climbing to the top. He's trying to get his knob rocked by some sweet Filipino T-boys. All right?
They sweet now because I'm in here. It's all good. You about to get out on bail. No. Hey, yo, check this out.
They just, so you have, if you don't have what they need, they're going to leave.
Right.
Got to keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
It's a little kinky, but rock with me, but just check it out. You need a lot of heat.
And after that, we ain't got to turn it up. Sound man, let's get the mic right. Turn it down a little bit. Shout out to Ciroc Vodka. Taste it, you'll love it. For real. I think I made my point clear. So if child welfare come in here in 30 minutes, that's on y'all. My kid's downstairs.
If child welfare comes in here in 30 minutes, that's on y'all. Why would he be talking about CPS coming into the party? Why would he be mentioning that? Right? My kids are downstairs. Why is he telling people his kids are downstairs? Is he saying he's removed his kids from the party because he doesn't want them to get abused? Or is he saying, hey, my kids are downstairs, check it out,
15 minutes, the kids have to go. Thank you very much.
What if I told you there's proof Diddy performs strange satanic-like rituals on his party guests?
So he did say the kids have to go. I don't know.
And had his guests worship the woman. Then everyone proceeded to eat food right off her body.
Denzel Washington, who is known to be one of Hollywood's pillars of integrity and calm, but at one of Diddy's notorious No Limits parties, everything changed. Denzel witnessed something so shocking that he couldn't stay silent. Now the whole internet says he didn't just walk away, he has evidence. And now with Diddy facing serious charges, there's a question no one can answer. Did Denzel hand over footage to the feds? And what he saw during these parties that made him lose his cool? Now, for those who don't know, Denzel is a Hollywood legend, known for his
Okay, so yeah, Denzel is probably, the feds already have Denzel in their pocket, right? I mean, he's working, he's in the system, he's in the syndicate, bro. And you don't think he took part in those parties? I mean, Allie Carter's saying, that maybe he is a little bit culpable, right? Nobody's coming to sue Allie Carter. She seems to not like Denzel Washington very much. She seems to think that he knew what was going on and he didn't say anything. He didn't do anything. He is culpable. He is an accomplice, or at least a what you call it, something to the crime. I can't remember the word. I don't know. Anyway, Denzel Washington, he's part of it. According to Allie Carter, allegedly. We're going to get into Allie Carter. Who is Allie Carter?
One time he locked me in containers with his shipment of kids. There were kids in there that didn't speak English. There were kids that were sick and that were already dying. There were babies. There were babies that were 6 years old, and I'll never forget them just crying, and everybody was just staring at them. Everybody was just staring at each other. Nobody knew whether or not to move. I was freaked out. One time he locked me in containers.
Yeah. So, obviously that was a trauma. He's trying to inflict trauma on this. So anyway, I'll back up. This is Allie Carter. Beautiful young black lady. All right, but she was basically essayed by Diddy and the cabal and the syndicate and high level people, celebrities, presidents, CEOs, everybody. Right? This is a big party. It's not just Diddy. Diddy's a little node in this network, this octopus, a little suction cup on the octopus's tentacle, and she experienced what people like myself have been trying to talk to people about for ages. That there is it's an intelligence network, right? It operates like the intelligence agency. It operates like it's bigger than it's deeper and darker than what we know as the mafia. This is scientific evil Satanism, essentially. And you can listen to Kathy O'Brien, Sue Ford, Paul Bonacci. Probably nobody knows those people, right? But they came forward a long time ago and told us about all this stuff. This is high-level government agencies working with mafias, working with the gangs, working with the record labels, working with the pharmaceutical companies, all the big corporations, and they're all in on it. People in key positions. Not all the people, not all the people in the company are going to be bad people. It's just people in key positions that are creating this hierarchy of power and control. They suck you into the hierarchy, and they have control over you, right? That's what Diddy and Justin Bieber and Usher and all that stuff was all about, right? He was getting young men under his wings, controlling them, and fusing their anal nervous system with their neurons and parts of their brain to make them more subservient and compliant and submissive to them, right? It's all about it's like a pyramid scheme. You're getting people under you to work for you, to create assets, to create tools for yourself, to boost yourself up the chain, up the rung, up the ladder, right? Up the grapevine.
While I was down there, there was something that happened. I don't even know what to call it. There was something that sounded like an earthquake, something that sounded like people got into a fight. There was a shooting. I was taken from one room to another, and then from there, someone left me there. I started moving and trying to get out of where I was. I was with the friend that I came in with, who was freaking out. She was hyperventilating. She was crying. She was trying everything to get out, and it made us get deeper in. The lower you go, the harder it is to get out. No one knows where the doors are. No one knows where the exits are. No one knows where some of these tunnels lead to. So it's not as easy as just say, I'm just going to get out, or I'm just going to try to find a way out. If you are walked in, you're escorted in, somebody has to help you get out. After what happened, we had to leave. Again, I don't know what was going on. I'm still not sure what happened that night. Maria, I am so sorry. I am my brain is I'm so sorry. I don't even know what's wrong with me right now. I'm being honest. I'm stupid sweating, and I don't even know what's wrong. But I'm fine. Okay.
It's a very, very difficult topic.
While I was down there, there was...
She's talking about secret tunnels, right? I mean, this is real creepy stuff. Talking about underground tunnels, right? As we know, all of the cities, all of the big cities have underground networks, and people talk about there's suburbs where all the houses are connected by underground tunnels. There are vast underground networks that are like labyrinths, mazes. They're designed, you know, uh, in a way that you can't find your way out, and they go on forever. These are gigantic construction projects. I mean, imagine being the guy who gets that contract. You're freaking rolling in the dough for the rest of your life. But yeah, I mean, there's videos coming out of these places. People somehow finding their way in, and it's pretty crazy. I mean, you look at maps of DC and see how everything is formed in the shapes of sigils and pentagrams, and the Shluminati owl. And all these things, man, and you can see all the underground tunnel networks. You can find this stuff, right? Like every big city has it under the Denver airport. Or, this is all known, notorious, infamous information. We all know this, right? And this is how they traffic. I mean, tunnels. It's obvious, right? That's how things work. That's how if you really want to get things through and you don't want to get caught, you use a tunnel, right? Nobody's gonna go with ground penetrating radar and all this stuff. I mean, the people who run the government are the ones who own the tunnels, right? And I'm not saying the government, right? Because most people in the government are probably just normal, good people, right? Um, Shout out to my FBI handler out there. You know what I mean? I don't know your name, I don't know your face, but I'm sure you're a good guy. I'm sure you're just doing your job. But you know, um, most of the people are good. Are good people. They're just trying to do their job. They're just ignorant idiots. That just wanted to be a secret agent or something, and now they're sitting at a desk listening to some idiot rant on the internet. So. Yeah, or they're actually doing good work. They're actually busting drug dealers and pimps and killers and all this stuff. Probably most. I would think. I hope. I would think that most cops, most FBI agents, even NSA and CIA maybe, are generally decent people who are trying to do the right thing. From their perspective. So I'm not trying to throw shade on government employees. I'm saying that there is a highly compartmentalized, sophisticated system that has been building up from the beginning. I mean, really, the beginning from the fall, right? And just that concept alone, and you can trace it back to all the way back, past Babylon. That should tell you. That should be enough to tell you that. This is greater than humanity. This is bigger than human beings, right? This is pure evil expressing itself through humanity. But anyway, let's look at the next one.
The second time I seen him was at his home in Las Vegas, Nevada. Everybody thinks he faked his death. He's not dead. There was many things that happened, and he got set up for a little bit to still be able to live his life and still be in the public eye. He's still making music. He's still collabing with other artists to this day. But the second time that I seen him was at his home in Las Vegas.
Yeah, so if you didn't know, this young lady is allegedly Tupac's daughter. And this gets really deep and dark because Diddy hated Tupac. Obviously, I was just listening to Tupac's song, Hit 'Em Up, where he's just straight up calling out bad boys. He's calling out Diddy and Biggie and saying that he's gonna kill them all, or he's gonna unalive them all, and his crew's gonna run up on him, and because he got shot 5 times, and they're the ones who did it, and he's blaming them, right? And so what she's saying is that he set up to he got a deal, right, to fake his own death and to live a relatively normal life, still making music, still collabing with people, and she's seen him, right? But the really dark part of this is that since Diddy and Tupac were enemies, right? Then Diddy got control of this girl and abused her like some sort of sick trophy, right? Taking out all of his rage on her, right? All of his rage at Tupac on his daughter, on the most precious thing that a father can have, right? And yeah, that's pretty freaking sick, bro. That's as dark as you can get. And when this stuff hits the fan, I don't know, man. People are gonna lose their minds, right? People aren't ready for this.
I had to go to a very elite party in Hollywood, California. And guess who I met? It was really weird. At first, I thought I was tripping, but no. Around that time, Unthinkable with Alicia Keys came out. It was around the time that I seen him again. And he did a collab with Alicia Keys. And people thought that was just machines and, you know, people have that power to just completely use that voice all over again. No. No. Sounded like he was right there, wasn't it?
Yeah, she's telling you. She's telling you, he's
I'm
still
sure
alive,
now
man.
he won't be able to
They
take
do this. They do this, you know? I'm just going to play that again, and one sec, I'll be right back.
I had to go to a very elite party in Hollywood, California. And guess who I met? It was really weird. At first, I thought I was tripping, but no. Around that time, Unthinkable with Alicia Keys came out. It was around the time that I seen him again. And he did a collab with Alicia Keys. And people thought that was just machines and, you know, people have that power to just completely use that voice all over again. No. No. Sounded like he was right there, wasn't it? He is. And I'm sure now he won't be able to take this.
You know, the world is run by some sick people.
I had to go to a very...
The world is really run by some sick people, and yeah, a lot of it's coming out right now. And in my humble opinion, there's really only one answer. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say anything more than that. Obviously, everything I say is satire, and I'm obviously a comedian working on my future comedy set. But things are really dark in this world, and at some point I just don't know what to say. You know, I just don't know what to say. At some point, there needs to be some sort of retribution. You know, there needs to be some sort of justice, and it doesn't seem like the people that are supposed to be delivering that justice are really giving it to the people who deserve it. And there are victims out there that are trying to tell their story, and they seem to be just getting blown off by all the people around them that should be protecting them. They're getting blown off by all the people who are watching this like some sort of sick circus, and they really have no concept of the depth of the insanity, of the depth of the evil going on here. Oh, you don't believe in the devil? You don't believe in devil? You don't believe in the legion of the underworld? You don't? Well, keep watching, because you will.
I was freaked out. And I got up and I held her. And they opened the truck and they took her from me. Because they said she was already sick. And they killed her. Her name was Bailey. There are kids in there from Africa, from Mexico. I was freaked out.
Yeah. So pretty dark, and you know, I don't mean to laugh about this stuff. I'm obviously not laughing at the victims. I have the greatest amount of respect and sympathy for anybody who has had to go through something like this. And obviously, I'm here for you, and I would do whatever I could within my means to help you and to protect you and to provide some sort of security, safety, you know, food, money, whatever. I mean, something needs to be done to help these people. I mean, we have homeless shelters. You know, we have animal sanctuaries, right? We can't help the kids. We can't help these poor children. I don't know. I was raised when I was a child. I had a concept in my mind that that if some predator, if some bad guy ever took me away, you know, that the police would come and bust in the door and they would save me, right? Like they had some sort of, you know, they had some sort of radar for when a child was being taken. And that's just not the case. The reality is that that they are facilitating it. And whether it's ignorance, whether it's stupidity, or whether it's conspiracy, it's simply unacceptable. And whatever we need to do as a society, as a human race, to help these people, to help this girl, right? And millions like her around the world. Millions. She's one of the, oh, I don't want to say lucky. I mean, she's blessed to be alive right now. She's blessed to be telling her story. She's blessed to be intelligent enough to have insurance policies and dead switches, right? So that if they ever take her out, the treasure trove will be released. It's the same thing that Kathy O'Brien and Sue Ford did. Ted Gunderson helped them do that. He was the chief of police for L.A. County, right? Back in the like 60s and 70s, right? So he helped these MK Ultra Monarch victims, these SRA victims, escape and develop insurance policies, insurance packages that they then gave to all sorts of people in the media and the government and friends and family, so that if they ever got taken out, that they would that information would be released and the whole system would take a very big hit. And so essentially, this gained them the protection of the CIA, right? Or elements within the CIA, I should say, because obviously, not all. But this actually, you know, I mean, if you can imagine, if they're gonna die, you know, and the dead man switch is gonna be switched on, then they're gonna actually be protected by the people who don't want that information coming out. It's actually very intelligent, very, very smart, and these people need our prayers. I'm dead serious about that. I'm not just saying that. You know, I'm not just when I say I'm praying for you, or you know, we should pray for people. I'm not just saying that. That's not just words, right? It's a deep, deep conversation in your heart that you need to have with God. And I think we all need that, right? To be able to try to feel and to suffer with these people, to suffer as much as we can with them, so that we can understand and we can help them. If we don't have understanding, if we don't have empathy, if we don't suffer with the survivors, with the victims, we'll never be motivated to help anybody. You know what I mean? You have to try to understand what they're feeling, what they're going through, what they have been through. Otherwise, you're just going to be like the rest. Oh, it's not my problem. It's not my problem. I'm just trying to get my new Miata. Or whatever. Yeah, I like Miatas. No, I'm not trying to throw shade on Miatas. I'm just trying to get my new, yeah, whatever, Jeep. I'm just trying to get my Escalade. You know, just trying to get my nice black Escalade with tinted windows, or whatever. So.
In containers with his shipment of kids. There were kids in there that.
There is a third arrest that is coming with an affidavit that I have already released. I am telling you, we know that it's coming. I knew it was coming when I made sure there were sworn and legal affidavits already ready 6 to 8 months ago. The world is going to crumble when they see this next arrest. In the meantime, there's going to be deaths, distractions, and fires to hide evidence. Watch for it.
Yeah, man. Death, destruction, and fires to hide evidence. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to an interesting thing that's happening right now. An interesting little storyline that the powers that be, the principalities and the powers, are trying to pull out of their little stinky rear end to try and swerve us, out of this lane, to try and pull our attention away. And in a large way, they're also trying to make this a distraction, right? They're trying to characterize this and shape this into something that will ultimately be for their benefit, right? Be for the power elite's benefit. What do I mean? What I mean is that if we're just focused on one tiny bucket, right? We're not focused on how it relates to the whole ocean. If we're just focused on one little fish, or even a big fish, we're not focused on the whole school of fish. We're not focused on the whole damn coral reef, right? So we're going to get into that. How does this relate? How does all this SRA, human transportation, child pizza stuff, ping pong, how does it relate to the ultimate plan? The perfect plan, the perfect society, the new world, the evolution of man from this meat cage, this developing progress that the powers that be are trying to push out upon us. We will be checking that in a second. Let me pull up my YouTube real quick. I just want to see if there's anybody in the chat so I can respond to them if anybody's talking. I should have been doing that, but I'm just not used to this whole thing. I'm new. Don't shoot me. Or do, I don't know. Let's see. Look up Android 8 Diddy. Yeah, it doesn't come up. Let's see. Android 8 Diddy, Epstein, Israel, Blackmail. Okay, let's look this up. Please excuse me. Please bear with me. There it is. Okay. No viewers, no chatters. All right, well, that's to be expected. Okay, so that's all right. I'm going to keep going on as if I've got 1,000 viewers. Okay, I'm just going to treat it like I've got 1,000 viewers, because who knows? Somebody might watch this. Somebody might take interest in this. Maybe I'm being shadow banned by the government. Maybe all the big alternative media, programs are really co-opted, and they're given some sort of pass. I don't know. Are they being used? Are they useful idiots? I don't know. But personally, I'm just going to pretend like I've got 1,000 people watching. I'm going to keep going. Business as usual. can't deter me. Can't deter me. There's one thing I've learned in this life, and the only thing, well, not the only thing, but something worse than death, something worse than pain and suffering is your conscience digging into your soul, digging into your heart, reminding you that you're not doing the right thing, that you are ignoring the problem, that you are an accessory to the crime because you know what's going on, or at least your subconscious knows what's going on, but you don't want to look there. You don't want to shine the light on that little dark spot in the corner of your mind palace or whatever, because you're just a little bit scared, or you don't want to step in there. You don't want to sacrifice yourself for the greater good. You don't want to sacrifice yourself for something better than yourself. You don't want to have sacrificial love for your fellow human beings. When it comes down to it, hey man, I'm not trying to get all philosophical here, but that's all life is about. The only thing that matters in life is sacrificing yourself for your brother, for your sister, for your mother, for your father. Sacrificing yourself, putting yourself on the line, going out there. That's what being a soldier is supposed to be, right? I mean, that's what being a police officer is supposed to be. You're a keeper of the peace, right? Do we have peace? These kids don't have peace. The victims don't have peace. The survivors don't have peace. Where's their peace? Somebody's getting a piece of the pie, but these survivors, they don't have no peace. All right. It's better to die and to suffer than to live knowing that you could have done something, that you could have tried to do something, that you could have spoken out, that you could have helped somebody, that you could have given your life to save somebody else's life. Right? So, it's worse than death. I don't know how people can live their whole life just in this meaningless fugue. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to get my nice apartment. I'm just trying to get a new pair of shoes. I'm just trying to get my new, you know, my new car. I'm just trying to live in a nice neighborhood. It's like, fuck all that. Fuck all that. That's bullshit. You're never gonna be happy. You're never gonna be happy. People like that, you're never gonna be happy. You're miserable. You're miserable, empty husks. And you were meant to be something greater. You were meant to be a child of God. And I can't explain to you. I can't really truly explain to you how it feels to come over from the other side. Okay? I can't really explain that to you. It's like something you have to take a leap of faith, and you have to kind of, maybe you have to hit rock bottom. I don't know. A lot of people do. A lot of people have to hit rock bottom before they realize that there's something greater in life than filling your stomach and wearing chains and ascending the ladder, right? There's something so much greater in life. How can you live with yourself? Aren't you haunted? Oh, maybe you're not. Maybe you're just a lifeless sociopath. And maybe you've been groomed to be that way. Maybe it's not all your fault. Maybe that you've been brainwashed too. Maybe you're a mind slave just like the rest. But in any case, it has to come crashing down, and just little people coming forward talking about this stuff. So, all right, how does this all relate to the greater program? Well, let's talk about the original Epstein, Craig Spence. As we know, Diddy had all of his houses rigged up like freaking studios, film studios, and he was collecting all this blackmail on people, right? Because he was a pawn in the system. That was his job. His job was to essentially be an asset in the music industry, to get blackmail on all these celebrities and all these musicians and all these CEOs and presidents so that they can control them, right? Everybody wants to hang out with the hot musician, with the top guy. Everybody wants to hang out with the celebrities, right? The all the presidents, the administrative class, they want to hang out with the artistic class, right? That's their spiritual gurus. And so Diddy was running all these blackmail operations, obviously tied into like the intelligence agencies and these global mafia. And we know that that was what Epstein was doing as well, running around collecting all this blackmail on people in order to secure this global control network. Let's read about Craig J. Spence. He came before Epstein, as we can see in this newspaper article here. Lobbyist is arrested in New York. Craig J. Spence, a Washington lobbyist who is subject of a federal investigation of male prostitution in Washington, is facing cocaine and gun possession charges in New York. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office said yesterday Mr. Spence, 48 years old, was arrested July 31st at the Barbizon Hotel at 140 East 63rd Street, interesting number, in Manhattan. Gerald McKelvey, a spokesman for District Attorney Robert M. Morgenthau, said Mr. Spence had called the police to say a man in his room had just robbed him of $6,000 at gunpoint. When the police arrived, Mr. McKelvey said they found Mr. Spence and another man, Casey Reagan, 22, in the room arguing. Mr. Spence told the police that Mr. Reagan had stolen a gun from him and then used it to rob him. The police also found a small amount of cocaine in an envelope, Mr. McKelvey said. Mr. Spence was charged with criminal possession of a loaded .32 caliber, blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's go back. So this is our beautiful little vintage Epstein here. So in 2012, Charles Young described Spence as surely one of the oddest figures in history of American politics. Once a correspondent for ABC in Vietnam, right? They set these guys up with the Project Mockingbird. They sweep them up and throw them into the. This guy started as a freaking media correspondent for ABC, right? For the ABC. The alphabet, right? Alphabet agencies. Spence subsequently made a living blackmailing right-wing politicians in Japan. Interesting. In Japan. Interesting. In Washington, he had a large house that he used for parties in Washington. So he's going to Japan, he's going to Washington, he's literally soaking up all of the elite all around the world. This is an international operation. The house was bugged from floor to ceiling, and he often seemed to be in possession of information he could have learned only from the bugs. He bragged about his CIA connections. Right? So, the CIA's involved. Right? Of course it is. Of course it is, guys. Of course they're involved in all this. They're running it. Right? They're administrating this. And of course they're just a tool as well. Right? They're just a little agency working for the greater the donor class, right? The really power elite, the oligarchs. They're just a bunch of peons, running around playing James Bond, and getting off on power, right? Getting off and having a little amount of power that their masters let them have, right? These little bug boys running around in suits. On November 10th, 1989, Spence was found dead in room 429 of the Boston Ritz-Carlton, the city's most expensive hotel. He was dressed in a tuxedo and had $3 in his pocket. According to the police report, when found by hotel employees, he was attired in the style he affected at his lavish dinner parties. Black tux with white shirt, bow tie, white suspenders, black socks and shoes, with a telephone cradled in his ear, and a Walkman headset containing a cassette tape of Mozart's A Little Night Music. Found hidden in a false ceiling in the bathroom were 7 small packets of Xanax, an anti-anxiety prescription jug with 1 pill removed. In black felt tip marker, he had written on a mirror of his room, Chief, consider this my resignation effective immediately. As you always said, you can't ask others to make a sacrifice if you are not ready to do the same. Life is duty. God bless America. Right. So did he really write that? Probably not. Right. As a postscript, he wrote to the Ritz, "Please forgive the inconvenience." Yeah, he probably didn't write that, right? It was probably he was taken out by his buddy. The CIA probably had his freaking the closest person to him take him out, overdose him, hot shot him, and and they wrote this phony note on the wall: "God bless America, life is duty." Um, can't ask others to make a sacrifice if you are not ready to do the same. So is he making a glorious, divine, godly sacrifice? No. He's sacrificing his soul to Satan. Obviously, he probably didn't write this, but that's what he did his whole life. He sacrificed his life to Satan for for glory and fame and riches and power. Okay, so you see how this is all just a big international intelligence operation for the oligarchs, right? So that they can stay in power. This is business. This is a business deal. This is a business operation. It's nothing more than that. It's just business. And I lied. There's more to that, right? It's the devil's business. There's a religious component to this. I'm sure not even. I'm sure a lot of these people don't even know that. I'm sure most people don't know they're working for the devil. As the Mossad says, the best asset is an asset that doesn't even know that they're an asset. They're just doing what they would naturally do. So, let's see. How does this connect? How does this connect to the future, to the plans that are unfolding? Well, you might not know this, but probably the biggest story of the century that is being totally overlooked is that Israel, our great little chipper friend over there, our greatest ally over in the Middle East, yes, the only democracy in the Middle East, yes, 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 cheerio, good sir, right, set up by the Brits, yes, yes, and, Israel is kind of important in the whole grand scheme of things. They, as Bibi Netanyahu said, they're the first eye of the five eyes, and the U.S. is the second eye. And they have an interesting role in this whole thing. Let's just read it. Let's read a little bit of this, and we will tie this all together. So, our first article here is Israel won't stop spying on the U.S. Whatever happened to honor among thieves when the National Security Agency was caught eavesdropping on German Chancellor Angela Merkel's cell phone? It was considered a rude way to treat a friend. Now the U.S. intelligence officials are saying, albeit very quietly behind closed doors on Capitol Hill, that our Israeli friends have gone too far with their spying operations here. Right? Oh, a greatest ally. Our greatest ally spying on us. Why would they be spying on us? How could they spy on us? Israel, our little peon in the Middle East, they're this tiny little country, and come on, dude, they're our landing base over there. They're the only democracy. They're our greatest ally, and they're spying on us. Well, it seems like they can get away with this quite easily without affecting our relationship. We'll still send billions and billions of dollars over there, still send them weapons and technology and corporations and all this stuff, right? Sharing intelligence, corporate partnerships. All of these things that do not benefit the American people. We're just handing all this stuff over to Israel. We've sent aircraft carriers over there. We're telling them to nuke Iran, and we're telling them to do all this stuff, and we're not stopping them from genociding innocent Arab people. Oh, they're terrorists. They're terrorists. You wouldn't call the Jews terrorists if they were fighting back against the Nazis in the concentration camps. You wouldn't say that. You would call them resistance fighters, right? And that's essentially what's happening in Israel. Okay? They've been holding these people underwater. They've been holding these poor, innocent brown people underwater for a long time. A long, long time. To the breaking point. And they have this thing they call mowing the grass, where they're going to keep the Palestinians just on the brink of starvation. They're just going to give them just as much as they need, and they're going to be constantly murdering them and picking them off and stealing their land and pushing deeper and deeper into their territory, pushing Jewish settlers into their territory, um, who of course they murder the Palestinians all the time with impunity because the Israeli government supports that and encourages that. What would you do? What would you do if it was you? What would you do if it was your family being pushed into an open air concentration camp, your water restricted, your power restricted, not enough nutrients, packed into the most highly concentrated, highly populated area per capita in the world, in a desert? They're blasting pornography. They're blasting porn over your television networks randomly so that your children are being traumatized by sexual degeneracy. What would you do? Would you, so if you fought back, you would be a terrorist? Would you accept that term for yourself? Think about that. What would you do if it was your family? And look, I'm not trying to run cover for Muslims, okay? I'm sure there are a lot of nice people who call themselves Muslims out there. Personally, I don't have a lot of love for I've got a love. I've got a lot of love for the human beings. I've got a lot of love for human beings, but the problem with the Islamic folk is this. Have you ever seen the documentary Eyes of the Devil? In this documentary, this human transporter explains, this child transporter explains that, well, all the brothels, all the child brothels in Germany and Poland and Belgium and the Netherlands are all run by Muslims, because in Islam they don't believe pedophilia exists. They believe that you can marry a 5-year-old and you know you know what I'm saying? That's okay for them. That's part of their religion. In their religion, it's okay to essay children. That's part of the Islamic religion. That's why I'm not saying I don't like Muslims. I just don't like Islam. Okay, it is a demonic religion. I'm just saying it. I'm just putting it out there. You're worshiping a demon, and you got a lot of PDF files over there. Okay, I'm not, and I don't like that. I would be okay with deporting every single one of them, to be honest. But hey, that's just me. I'm not the king. I'm not in control of that. Just my opinion in Minecraft. So let's read on here. Why is it so important that Israel is spying on us? Let's see. The Jewish state's primary target, America's industrial and technical secrets. Why would that be their primary target, you might ask? Well, let me explain it to you, good chap. Why would they want to steal all of our industrial and technical secrets? Because that is power, as Bibi Netanyahu said once. And cyber is the real power, because he knows if you have control of cyber, if you have control of the technology, if you are at the spearhead of technology, then you rule the world. Duh. Look at all of the wars throughout history. What won all the wars? Why did the white man take over the whole world? Why did the English, colonize 80% of the planet for a long time, and they didn't stop until they just basically were like, we're just going to give it back. You know what I mean? Nobody was going to stop them. Nobody could. Why? Because they had the best technology. Because the white man invented the wheel, right? And very sophisticated weaponry. Right? Have you ever seen The Last Samurai? I mean, come on, man. Right? The white man. Us honkies over here. All right? We're really good at developing technology, and these people, these J-boys, these J-cats over here, they're really good at stealing it and gaslighting us and blackmailing us into giving it to them, right? This is how this all ties in to the whole Diddy thing, the Epstein thing, the Craig Spence thing, the Ghislaine Maxwell thing, the Robert Maxwell thing, all these different people, they're all just drops in the bucket, drops in the ocean, right? This whole blackmail operation, blackmail and espionage, man. Extortion is the biggest business in the world, other than transportation, human transportation, right? Biggest industry in the world, extortion, and blackmail. I guess it's hard to run the numbers on that, right? It's hard to get the raw stats on how much money really is being developed from that, because it's really has not much to do with money. It's all about power. It's a power tool. It's not a market tool. It's not a commerce tool. It's a power tool, right? You're using it to gain power over other people so that you can make them do whatever you want. You own them. You own them, right? And if you own the people, you own what the people own, okay? If you own the United States, if you own all of their key actors, all of their key officials, you own their technology. And if you own the technology, then you win the wars. Just like the white man, just like us honkers over here, we have won all the wars, throughout history, right? Except for the ones we don't want to win, because we like to drag them out and make a lot of money for the GDP, for the defense contractors, and then after that the construction contractors, right? So we go in, this is the new warfare, right? We go in, we destroy an area, and then we give the contracts to the same guys who, let's say BlackRock, right? Let's say BlackRock has a lot of sway in the government, and they use their little needles to poke and prod our people and blackmail them into starting a war in some place, maybe the Ukraine, I don't know. And well, let's put a bunch of missile batteries on the border, even though we said we wouldn't, because then they said that they would have to do something about it. Okay, well, let's do that. Start a war. But before we do that, let's divvy up all the construction contracts. We'll make sure that we're going to make all the money on the back end, right? So we're going to start this war. We're going to totally ruin the place. We're going to take all the children, all the orphans, right? I mean, there's chaos, right? Everybody's running around with, like chickens with their heads cut off. Nobody knows what's going on. There's the fog of war, right? You go in and you steal. They go in, they take the children, they bomb the shit out of the country, make tons of money on the bombs, the ammunition, the guns, the tanks, the ships, the airplanes, missile systems, satellites, all that stuff, right? They're making tons and tons of money off of that. And then they destroy the place. They make tons of money on the children, on the human transportation, organ harvesting, and then they're using it for blackmail. And then after the country's completely destroyed and their fighting age males are completely eradicated, then you go in and you rebuild it. And guess what? You're making all the money on the rebuild. It's a huge scam, huge racket, right? And the better technology you have, the better your racket. So, Israel coming in, targeting America's industrial and technical secrets so that they can have the edge over us, right? So that they can be the new power, and that they'll own us. I mean, they don't literally need to call America New Israel or whatever. They can just own us. They can just own our technology, blackmail all of our people, and then they own us. It'd be better if we didn't know, right? For them, because then they reap all the benefits without us knowing what's actually going on and doing something about it. Okay, we're going to read on a little bit in this, and then we're going to move on. We've got a couple more things to cover. No other country close to the United States continues to cross the line on espionage like the Israelis do, said a former congressional staffer who attended another classified briefing in late 2013. It's been going on forever. One of several in recent months given by officials from the Department of Homeland Security, the State Department, the FBI, and the National Counterintelligence Directorate. Yeah. So our intelligence agencies know about this, and still we're sending billions of dollars over to Israel. What is going on? What is going on? Oh, this video of Joe Biden wandering into the Amazon. Oh, wow. Joe Scarborough rekindles Trump relationship after comparing him to Hitler. Lake and Riley, murder suspect. Jose Ibarra's gang affiliation revealed. These NFL players have done the Trump dance. Yeah, all these freaking news headlines. Garbage, garbage, garbage. Destruction of the human soul. Well, and we're all addicted. Me as well. We're all addicted to this drama train. And look, you need to take your eyes off the heat once in a while, otherwise you're going to burn your retinas. But you're going to burn out and become a zombie if you don't take a little break once in a while. But you can't completely ignore the problem. We have to focus on the main issue. This is the crux of the issue. This is the height of the problem, right? All this blackmail stuff, the SA, the human trafficking, all that stuff, it's working under this. It's subsidiary to this. The theft and control of the technology so that this genocidal little cabal can control the world. All right. U.S. company sues Israeli army for stealing military technology secrets. Wow, imagine that. That's so crazy. What? What? Israeli army stealing military technology secrets? No, this is crazy. This is from 2022. A U.S. company that produces military technology filed a lawsuit at the Tel Aviv District Court against the Israeli Ministry of Defense and a brigadier general claiming they stole technology secrets and used them in military training of combat units without permission. Wow, that's interesting. They're just straight up stealing our defense technology. That's amazing. And technology secrets, right? And we do nothing about it. I'm reading this from Ashark El Aswat, whatever the hell that is, some Middle Eastern news agency. Why did I have to dig through pages and pages to get to this Middle Eastern news agency? Why couldn't the American news agencies tell me about this? Oh, okay. Because I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it. Not even going to say it, dude. But you should know. But you should know. What does it tell you? I mean, do you think they're making this up? Does this seem like just something they pulled out of their butt? These are just some Muslims talking shit? No. This is a real story, something that really happened. Okay? And ABC isn't telling you about it. NBC isn't, they don't give a shit. CNN, they work for these people. They're all in the program. They're all in the syndicate, man. Okay? At least key people in key positions, okay? You're a journalist, you want to do the right thing, you want to run a story on how Israel is stealing American technology. Oops! Sorry. You just lost your job. I'm sorry. Oh, you got to go on YouTube now. And by the way, we're going to shadow ban you. We're going to spy on you. We're going to make your life a living hell if you try to push this because, hey man, we own you. We own America. That's what they're saying. So, Conflict Kinetics filed a suit claiming the chief of paratroopers and infantry corps for Israeli Defense Forces, Brigadier General Dan Goldfuss, nice name, bro, and under his responsibility as an envoy of his military establishment, obtained classified information about a combat training program. CK claimed that Goldfuss retrieved the information with malicious intent and used them in Israeli training programs without permission and through a flagrant violation of rights. The company said the information was provided to an Israeli company that manages war scenarios for the Israeli army, making these violations the responsibility of Goldfuss, the military, and the Ministry of Defense. I wonder if anything happened to them. I wonder if anything was done about this. I mean, and of course, things are handled quietly. I'm sure, I'm sure things are happening behind the scenes. I'm sure, but just pretty interesting. Conflict Kinetics is one of the major companies that provide services to the U.S. Army and Central Intelligence Agency, and many of the armies and police in the world. I wonder who could have given them this information. I wonder if it was the CIA. Ding, 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 ding. You know what I mean? I wonder. this completely corrupt, PDF file, child trafficking institution that operates on foreign lands. I wonder who gave them this technology. Couldn't have been the Central Intelligence Agency. No. So, anyway, all right, we're going to move on to the next story here. The U.S. needs to engage China on tech or risk isolating itself. We see Putin and Xi Jinping shaking hands here, and we got the Israeli flag literally in the middle of. Oh no, that's not Putin. That's Bibi. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's Bibi Netanyahu shaking hands with the Chinese, our enemy, right? So our greatest ally over here, swap and spit with the with our with our greatest enemy, Awesome. Wow. Wonderful. This is so eye-opening. Oh, so why is BB over here shaking hands with, and he's engaging China on tech or wait, what? So let's read this. Contrast could hardly be more striking. In October, Vice President Mike Pence delivered a blistering speech accusing China of stealing prized U.S. technology and military hardware. Barely 2 weeks later, one of Beijing's most powerful bureaucrats touched down in Israel for a visit focused on building ties with its tech and innovation sectors. You can't make it up, bro. You can't make it up. Oh, what's Israel, a close American ally, doing palling around with a known technological rival of the United States? Oh, that's interesting. We don't even need to read the rest of the article. I mean, if you're not a complete brain dead idiot, you'll see what's going on here. Okay, how did the Chinese get that nice little fighter jet that they have? What is it, the J-10? How did they get that? Maybe it's because we gave the Israelis the technology and they passed it along to China, our enemy. You know what I mean? Huh. Oh, we so stupid. We never saw this happening because we've been watching Kim Kardashian. I'm a dumb American. All right, I'm sorry. I need to be more charitable towards my own people. Okay, so let's go on here. So Israel is stealing our technology. They're handing it over to the Chinese. They're keeping the best for themselves, obviously, so that they can be the top dog. But they're growing this backdoor. They're being these double-sided double agents, growing these relationships with our enemies, right? So that because in the end, their whole design, their whole plan is to be the center of this world island, this bunting cloverleaf, McKinder World Island plan, where Israel's going to be at the center, ruling the world from Jerusalem, right? That's their religious prophecy, that's their religious plan. That is literally part of their religion. So, don't ask me, do your research. Israel, a huge liability on American foreign policy balance sheet. Let me read that again. Israel, a huge liability on American foreign policy balance sheet. APAC secret theft from American industry reaches 100 billion. Wow. Didn't we just send over like $100 billion just like last year or something, or this year? I mean, that's pretty crazy. Wow. So they're stealing $100 billion from us, APAC. And what have we done about that? Oh, and the video is unavailable on YouTube because the account has been terminated. Interesting. What does that tell you about YouTube? They own us, dude. They own us. They own YouTube. They own all the media. They control the internet at this point, right? Rad Group and all of its hundreds of subsidiary companies, technology companies, right? They own it, man. They own the internet. They're running the data analytics. They're running the communications for the freaking police departments, bro. They're running the communications for our security services. They've got Intel chips backdoored, Microsoft backdoored, Google backdoored, Apple backdoored, Android backdoored, Snapdragon chips backdoored. Everything. everything. They've sucked it all up because cyber is the real power. Bibi Netanyahu quote. So yeah. There are many reasons why naming Martin Indyk the special envoy to mediate between Israel and Palestine is a bad idea. Marinated in Israeli-American media mogul Chaim Saban's largesse at Brookings Institute, many observers have noted Indyk's previous failures as a diplomat for the U.S. It is assumed that Indyk will gain function as Israel's lawyer and Palestinians will get a raw deal. Interesting. Never could have seen that coming. When was this put out? This article was put out in 2013. Interesting. Less explored are the likely costs for the United States. In 1984, as research director of the at the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, Indyk and his research team gutted advice and consent process during trade negotiations to deliver unprecedented concessions to Israel. Are you saying an American official sold out to Israel? Sold out unprecedented concessions to Israel? To Israel, you say? During the negotiations, American businesses opposed to the concessions delivered trade secrets and proprietary data supporting their opposition to the International Trade Commission. The FBI soon discovered AIPAC had illegally obtained a secret copy of the business secrets compiled by ITC, giving AIPAC invaluable ammunition to target those lobbying against the deal. How is this not... I mean, are people in prison for this? Are people getting publicly executed for this? I mean, where's the summary trial executions? I mean, what's going on? What's going on here? Is anybody in our government looking out for our best interests? I mean, do you care about PR? I mean, your propaganda is horrible. Horrible. Nobody trusts the government. Nobody likes the government anymore. Nobody believes the government. You know what I mean? You guys, I mean, come on, dude. Are you all freaking drooling idiots? I don't believe you are. I think somebody has to get on the propaganda machine and start rounding these people up and airing it on live television, right? I mean, that would instantly get American. I mean, come on. The whole American public, other than these freaking whack job evangelicals, hate Israel with a passion. We all just want to see it burn at this point, okay? We wouldn't care if they got wiped off the face of the earth, glassed the whole place. I mean, obviously, with some sort of gas or something, you know, because you don't want to ruin the ancient temples and all of the ancient artifacts. I mean, Jesus was born there, okay? Jesus walked Palestine. All right, it is the Holy Land, you know. So we, you know, don't use like high, you know, nuclear weapons or anything like that. Probably just. I don't know. Whatever. I think we should go in there. You know, a couple Marine divisions. You know, we've already got the aircraft carriers over there. Just send in the jets, send in our guys, the hackers. You know, Marines, Navy SEALs, Delta, all those guys. Just send them into Israel. Take it over. Take back the government for the Americans. Right? Take it back. It'll be our 51st state. Right? Screw Puerto Rico. We want friggin' Israel, man. It'll be our 51st state. We'll kick out all the rats, send them to Madagascar, right? I mean, come on, dude. And that's not a racial thing, okay? I mean rats as in the criminals, right? The scumbags that are essentially creating anti-Semitism. They're dragging the good name of Jews through the mud. You know, if they have any left, right? They're dragging it through the mud. They're dragging the tiny ribbons of reputation that these poor people have. You know, these poor people living over there, you know, sucking up the world. Really, I mean, this Likud party, these elites, these oligarchs, this horrible administration is essentially destroying the reputation of Israel, of Jews, sorry, and of America. They're destroying our reputation. We look like the bad guys. I mean, we already did look like the bad guys, but now we look like genocidal maniacs, supporting genocidal maniacs. I mean, are you guys... I can't even fathom how stupid this looks. How stupid it makes our government look. That we are supporting these Maniacs. And, oh, we were conspiracy theorists, not so long ago, a couple of years ago, but now everybody's coming onto our side because they see the writing on the wall. They see what's really happening now. It's too obvious. It's too obvious. You can't cover it up. Everybody's got cell phones now, right? Are you guys, I mean, I don't know. Is it just a problem? Is it a generational problem? Is it just that the old codgers, at the top of the ladder need to be booted out? I mean, come on, guys. What do you have to do? Throw a coup. Do whatever you need to do. Get these freaking dumb, soft-bellied assholes out of the seats of power. Take back America. I mean, that's your job, to protect the Constitution, to protect the American people. Do your freaking job, man. I mean, do whatever you have to do. Organize within the freaking government. Take these people down. Right? Make America great again. All right, Microsoft to open 5 new sites in Israel. Double R&D workforce. Why is this? Oh, this is interesting. This is so interesting. Why would Microsoft be opening 5 new sites in Israel, you say? Oh, Israel, this tiny little country in the Middle East, they're opening 5 new sites. Double R&D workforce. Interesting. Offices are in the works in Tel Aviv, Herzliya, Beersheba, Jerusalem, and one location to be determined. Tech giants plan to recruit over 2,500 more employees. While America is tanking, while the dollar is dying, we're spreading our technology over to Israel. And what does this do? Oh, this is so nice. This is so nice that one of our biggest tech giants is moving over to Israel and partnering with Israel. I'm sure that's not going to be a security issue, right? I'm sure that's not going to be a security issue. I'm sure there's not going to be sensitive information being shared with these maniacs, right? So this is a story back in 2021. Microsoft plans to open 5 additional sites in Israel and more than double its R&D workforce in the country over the next 4 years, the tech giant announced on Wednesday. Microsoft currently operates development centers in Haifa, Tel Aviv, and Nazareth, and opened 4,600 square meter campus in Herzliya late last year. A big old campus in Herzliya. I wonder what that's going. I wonder what's going on there. I bet they're not working with the Talpiot program and Unit 8200 and the Mossad, and I'm sure they're not totally backdooring America through our tech giants, through our tech corporations. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, As of the end of 2020, Microsoft employed an estimated 2,300 people in Israel, 2,000 of them in R&D working on projects including cybersecurity, AI technologies, big data, and healthcare. Don't you see it all? It's just the basket of control. Cybersecurity, AI technologies, big data, healthcare. Literally, how do you control the human race? Cyber is the real power. Okay? AI technologies, dude. Big data, literally, big data analytics. They're soaking up all of our data, soaking up all of our biometrics, learning how to control us, learning how to control society, how to move society around, how to create all these big events, all these distractions, how to literally trauma-based mind control. That's what's happening, and they're doing it all through cybersecurity, AI technologies, big data, and healthcare. Right? This whole jibby jab thing, right? So, Microsoft also operates a VC fund and Microsoft for Startups programs whose staff work from the Herzliya offices. The company opened a local branch in Israel in 1989 and established its first R&D center in Israel, its first outside the U.S. in 1991. The company said it has seen substantial growth over the last 18 months across its development centers and hopes to add more than 2,500 engineers and other roles in the coming years to make up a local workforce of over 4,500 people. Why can't they bring those jobs over to the U.S.? People are losing jobs. People can't find work. But they're going over to Israel to start all these jobs. What an American company. What a patriotic company. You can tell their loyalties to the U.S. Okay. So let's go down a little bit. There's some interesting information in here. Among tech giants earlier this year, Google said it was setting up a chip development team in Israel. Oh, Google. Oh, and Nvidia has said it was planning to recruit 600 additional engineers to boost its R&D activities locally. Oh, well, that's only two companies. Oh, wait, Amazon is also mulling setting up a data center in Israel. Amazon. And Oracle is preparing to launch a new data center in Jerusalem that will function as a regional cloud provider for Israeli clients. Wow. So it's almost like all of our biggest tech companies are going over to Israel so that they can sweep up all of our data and steal all of our data more efficiently and all of our technology and spy on us more efficiently, right? Through our companies, and I'm sure they don't have all these people blackmailed, all of the executives, all of the officials in these companies. I'm sure they don't have them all blackmailed. I'm sure they didn't all go to some sort of Diddy party or Epstein Island or I'm sure some of them knew Craig Spence before he got knocked off, right? All these people, oh, I don't want to say all these people, but people in key positions in these companies are blackmailed by people like Diddy, like Epstein, like Robert Maxwell, okay? Blackmailed so that they so that they bring all this technology over to Israel and then they open up the rat line, they open up the doors so that they can sweep all of our technology over to Israel and they can control it from over there and start the Pan-Eurasian bloc. They can start you have the United States of Israel, you have U.S. over here being milked as a welfare state, and then you've got Africa down there mining the lithium. All controlled from Jerusalem because that's their plan. All the goyim are slaves. All right, so anyway, I don't want to be too heated here. I don't want to be too brash. So I'm gonna wind it down here. Here's a guy who's a little bit more cool-headed than I am, a little bit more reasonable. Brendan O'Connell. I would highly recommend watching this video. Number 143, the USA crushes the CCP Belt and Road Project via Ukraine, or are they? Right? This is all a big dope show, man. It's all data analytics, all these strategies being pumped out of the AI. It's all a big freaking sham, man. Not all of it. I shouldn't say it's all a big sham, but there are very very stinky things going on, very fishy things going on, and all these people who pretend to be enemies, they're not really enemies. They're really shaking hands behind closed doors, making backroom deals, setting up the future, right? Setting up the new world order, which ironically Putin's been talking about recently. That BRICS is going to be part of the new world order. Yeah, this is the Pan-Eurasian bloc being formed, right? The balkanization of the United States, turning it into a welfare state, taking away our power, taking away our probably going to disarm us at some point, basically taking away our technology, and taking away our supremacy. And who's going to take it? Who's going to take it? Right? Oh, I'm sure there's somebody out there in the world that will be better at doing it than the United States. For all of our corrupt officials, all of our scummy little rat boys who've worked their way into our intelligence agencies and all of our services, for all of our problems, for all the dickheads that are muddying the waters and shitting in the well, I can't really think of any other country, that I would trust to have this level of supremacy. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, and I'm not just being a patriotic American here, okay? I am a patriotic American. I do love America, and I love America. I love my American people. I love my country. I love my countrymen. I want the best for my country and the world. I just don't see any other country in the world really being able to handle this. I think it's naive to say that that some European country could do it better, or Russia, or China, or some African country. I mean, who? Name one country. that you could think of that would be better than the United States at holding this global supremacy that we have, right? And maybe it'll be a multipolar world order. I don't even think that exists, right, man? I mean, come on. It's just, does that even make sense? No. There's always going to be a top dog. There's always going to be a guy on top who's essentially setting the tone. Okay, and I would rather that it be America. I do want that. I do want that for all of our problems, and I'm going to hit hard on the CIA and the FBI and the NSA and all these people, the police, and I'm going to hit hard on them because it's our guys. You know, they're our people. We love them and we want the best for them, and we hate to see them fail, which it seems that's what's happening. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just some civilian watching this from the outside, and things are handled quietly, things are handled behind closed doors, things are happening. Maybe they're doing their best, they're fighting the good fight. Most of them probably are, okay? But we have to realize, we have to talk to these people, the good people in the military, the good people in the police force, the good people in politics. If there are any good people in politics, we need to share this information with them to let them know that this is happening, because this is it, right? The technology transfer to Israel, this essentially this Soviet style Jewish empire. You don't want the power to shift over to these people. You would rather have it be Americans. I'm just telling you. And I hope you believe me. I'm not working for the government. Surely. You can ask my FBI handler. No, I'm definitely not working for the government. Maybe I am being used in some way as an asset without my knowledge. But I'm just speaking from the heart. I love my country. I think it's probably the best at handling global power. I don't think there's any other solution. I don't think there's any other country that could handle this mess. Anyway, I'm going to play a little bit of this video so you can see a little bit of Brendan O'Connell. He does this panel. I think he's going to start doing these new style of videos where he brings a panel on and they talk about the current issues going on and the state of the world, problems with Israel. This was a great video. I listened to the whole thing. He brings people on and they have a discussion. And a lot of people bring great information, and the simultaneous open source organization of the people is forming right now.
As the Ukrainian ammunition expenditure program rolls on and the American population remains transfixed by the right-left World Wrestling Federation January the 6th spectacle, and you know what I mean, the Pentagon quietly does the business in the background, preparing to disrupt both Russia and China on the Eurasian landmass. This is the battle for the world island, which we've been bleeding on about since 2018. Good old Halford Mackinder laid it out for us many years ago. Who rules East Europe commands the heartland. Who rules the heartland commands the world island. Who rules the world island commands the world. Who rules and laid it out.
Let's look at that. Oh, I'm sorry, kitty. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh. My kitty fell off my lap. Oh, you're okay. Yeah. Oh, I love you. Yeah, you can be on my lap. I'm sorry. So yeah, Mackinder's Heartland Theory. Who rules East Europe commands the heartland. East Europe, Ukraine. Who rules the heartland commands the world island. Who rules the world island commands the world. So this is the pivot area, the heartland. You can see, of course, we have Russia, Mongolia, Israel's in there, and all the Eastern European countries. That is the pivot area, the heartland. Whoever rules the heartland commands the world island. Who rules the world island commands the world, okay? You control the heartland, you control the world. This is the battle for the heartland. And yeah, America. I mean, that's why we, as much as we like to hate on America for having all these bases around the world, for being this politically dominant, military dominant force in the world. This is what it's all about. We just don't understand this. We haven't learned this. This isn't part of our curriculum in the public education system or any education system. Nobody learns about this. Why? This is literally the pivotal issue. Who controls the heartland controls the world, right? This is the battle. This is the battle going on right now. This is the battle that Israel is fighting. They want control of the pivot area, so they're making deals with the people close to the heartland, the Chinese and the Russians, and they're pretending to be friends with the U.S. while they milk it like a golden calf, right? Milking us dry, bleeding us dry for all of our resources, turning us into a welfare state, running up our debt, making the dollar useless. Eventually, the dollar is going to collapse. We're going to have this cryptocurrency that's going to, transmit instantly over the ether, and they'll just be able to collect it all once they control the technology. Right? The technological center is going to be the economic center of the world. It's going to be the controlling center, political center of the world. Okay? Very simple.
That for us many years ago. Who rules East Europe commands the heartland. Who rules the heartland commands the world island. Who rules the world island commands the world. So, a great way to control East Europe is, of course, to sit right there in Ukraine. And I'm sure there'll be a couple of US bases built there very soon as the Ukrainians realize just how bad things can get. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Andrew Torba continues to spew forth his desire for a Kissinger and Associates breakup of the United States in stark terms. I've believed for years that the balkanization of the states is the only peaceful path forward, and in many ways it's already here. The demographic, cultural and spiritual damage to the country is already done. When you radically change the demographics and destroy the Christian values of a country, you also change the culture, laws, norms of that country. And yeah, who did all the changing? Kissinger and Associates, of course. They opened the borders, they wrote the think tank documents, they run the Atlantic Council. Good old Kissinger and Associates. The same people running Torba's same crew. Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, Tim Cast IRL, all related to Dr. Steve Pachenik and Goldman Sachs.
Do you see? Do you see? Okay? It's the East India Trading Company. This is old as sin, man. This is old as sin. Oh, you thought the oligarchs that ruled the British Empire went away? Are you dumb? No. No. They faked their death just like the Soviet Union. Just like the Soviets. And they focused on more important things, right? Being the technological and economic hub of the world. And controlling the heartland, trying to control the heartland. That's what it's all about. So let's go back a little bit here. I would like to read this quote again. So this guy says, I've believed for years that the balkanization of the states is the only peaceful path forward, and in many ways it's already here. The demographic, cultural, and spiritual damage to the country is already done. When you radically change the demographics and destroy the Christian values of a country, you also change the culture, laws, norms of that country. Let's break that down. When you destroy the demographic, when you radically change the demographics, right? Bringing in all these illegal immigrants, bringing in all these Muslims, all these refugees, all this stuff. Yo, you thought we were just trying to help people. Oh, you thought that. You thought we were trying to help people. That's so cute. That's you little cutie pie, believing in the government, or whatever. Not the government. And this isn't the government, right? This is the super government. This is the world government, right? This isn't the American. This isn't the 80% of the American employees, right? This is the world controllers that have duped us all. That have such great data analytics. That's such great propaganda. They've been working on hitting the human heart, changing hearts and minds. They really understand how to psychologically manipulate um, massive amounts of people, whole populations, whole countries, whole nations, whole demographics. They know what makes us tick, right? They've been working on us for a long time. So they changed the demographics, okay? They destroyed the Christian values. Wow. Wow, how did they do that? Well, you can see the change in the Christian values since the 1900s, right? Going down in the shitter. Atheism on the rise. The New Age movement. These New Age people that have no beliefs in anything, and it's all about greed. At that point, what does it come down to? It comes down to preference. It comes down to pleasure. It comes down to greed. It comes down to material objects, right? Fighting for material. It all comes down to power politics, a power struggle, right? There's no more unifying spiritual foundation that everybody can get around that guides us. Um, and they changed the culture. Wow, well, imagine that. We had this long heritage, this long-standing heritage, this European heritage. It was this strong, unifying culture. Everybody got around it. Everybody had this unifying heritage. We were all brothers and sisters, even if we weren't necessarily related, because we were related through our culture. Well, that's all changed now. Now everybody is completely refracted and blown into tiny little bits, and mind split and mind shat, um, into oblivion. Um, and that's why people say, "Oh, we have no culture." Well, we do have culture, right? It's just that our culture has been completely overrun and steamrolled and polluted by everybody else's culture. you know, it's the melting pot. Who coined that phrase? I'm sure it was coined relatively recently in our history. Um, and once you destroy the culture and the demographics and the Christian values and the laws, look at our laws, right? Look at what happened in 1965. Well, I don't know. Well, now everybody can run around and they can just do fetus deletus. They can do whatever they want, and the laws have radically changed so that so that criminals get away with murder. A criminal, if you have enough money, your legal process is defined by how much money you have. Right? There's no laws, right? There's laws for the chattel. There's laws for the peons, the assets. There's laws for us because we don't have billions of dollars in the Cayman Islands. We don't have these offshore accounts in Switzerland. We're just working away, at these slavishly at these menial jobs, trying to get by. Trying to make a cent on the dollar. But anyway, so yeah, it's Brendan O'Connell. I should probably put that description in the YouTube at some point. I'll take all these links and save them. And so all this stuff is going on, and suddenly everybody's seeing UFOs. Suddenly there's all these hearings on UFOs and aliens, and we're having all these serious discussions in Congress about the extraterrestrial problem. Wow. It's not like Bill Cooper's, was talking about this in, the 80s or something. Talking about how the U.S. government has developed high technology beyond the average person's comprehension that would literally look like magic or aliens to us, so that in the future they can stage a fake alien invasion, and everybody's going to be so freaked out and traumatized, and it'll bring everybody together. It'll essentially give them a good excuse, thesis, antithesis, synthesis, to create a global governance system, right? We all got to pull together. We all got to hang together, otherwise we're going to hang separately. That's going to be the whole thing. So if we have this, what did Reagan say? Reagan said it, right, in one of his speeches. I wish some aliens would come and invade us so that the whole world would get together and we could have a one world government. Was essentially what he said. So yeah, let's look over here. We got these. Look at this guy's eyes right here. This guy's an MK Ultra Monarch victim. Look at this friggin'. Oh.
Rigorously deconflict such demonstrations with live exercises, I was confident this was not the case. The very next day, that email disappeared from my account and those of the other recipients without explanation. Moreover, the commander of Fleet Forces Command and the operations officer never discussed the subject. Even during weekly meetings, specifically...
Can we just take a second to, like, check out this dude's fit on the left here? I mean, come on. You're, like, literally in, like, a congressional hearing or something. And you're wearing freaking sweatpants and Nikes. You slob. Get a life.
Reducing safety of flight risks. Yet it appeared to me that no one at the flag officer level was addressing the safety risk posed by UAPs. Instead, pilots were left to mitigate these threats on their own without guidance or support. I concluded that the UAP information must have been classified within a special access program managed by an intelligence agency. That is a compartmented program that even senior officials, including myself, were not read into. Last year's UAP hearing before this oversight committee confirmed that UAP-related information is being withheld from senior officials and members of Congress. And just this week I learned from former DoD official Chris Mellon that satellite imagery of UAP from a few years ago still has not been shared with Congress. Equally concerning, last year's UAP hearing also revealed that elements of the government are engaged in a disinformation campaign to include personal attacks designed to discredit UAP whistleblowers. Having never signed a non-disclosure agreement regarding UAPs, and now as a private citizen, I've become an advocate for greater UAP transparency from the government. The continued overclassification surrounding UAPs has not only hindered our ability to effectively address these phenomena, but has also eroded trust in our institutions. While I applaud previous...
Bro, it's all covered up because it's government programs, you dumb idiot. There's no aliens. There's no the UFOs are created by Raytheon. You know, it's created by Boeing. You know, government contracts, high technology that they've been developing for years behind the scenes. You know, we see the B-2 stealth bomber. Oh man, that's so great. That was developed in the fucking 40s. You know, I mean, come on, man. You know, this stuff has been out there. Come on. It's so ridiculous. I mean, why do we have to hear this shit? And yeah, anyway, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. But now you know. It's Project Bluebeam. Try to Google it, right? You're not going to find anything, but if you dig deep enough, you might find something. There's a report from Iron Mountain, you know, that talks about how we have to keep the world in constant warfare, and then fake alien invasion would suit the government's needs in order to control the population and put them in a state of submission, you know, traumatized submission. It's all traumatized mind control, right? Trauma-based mind control. It's all human behavioral modification techniques. That's all it is. So, anyway, that's all I got for tonight. I think I'm going to save all these tabs and put them in a note, put them in my notes so that I can kind of review what I did tonight later. We're going to do more of this maybe. I don't know. Maybe I just won't. But yeah, probably more to come. I'd like to do some new stuff, I guess. I'm not trying to be a big guy out here, but hey man, it'd be nice to start a little bit, start a little something over here, start talking about this stuff. It's just fun for me, really. It's kind of entertaining on one level, but on another level, I'm an American man, and I have a civic duty to do what I think is right. I'm a Christian. I need to do what I think is right, and I think all I can really do at this point is talk about it, and eventually I'll be able to start working with other people maybe, and start pushing this information out to the people who need it, to the people who can do something about it. You know, but most importantly, we should focus on building our communities and all that stuff. But yeah, we have to get involved in this. We have to get involved in politics. We have to get involved in spreading this information. So that we all can get through this together, man. You know, man, I love talking about this stuff. It's just it gets me all fired up. It is midnight. I have to wake up in 4 hours, so I work a hard labor job, which is real fun. I don't know why I stayed up to do this. I guess my conscience dragged me into this yet again. Stupid me. But if anybody watches this, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. And